Okay, now that I unscrewed the radio, one thing I wanted to point out, this bracket here is from my factory radio. This particular radio, fits 100% well into the car without needing a plastic kit. This bracket here, you need a Torx, what's it called? A Torx T15 to take the screw off of your factory radio, and this actually lines up very well, perfectly, no adjustments needed or anything, just like if it's factory. The Torx T15, you unscrew it from your factory radio, you just put the left side on the left side, right side on the right side, and then you screw them in perfectly. There's 4 of them in there, and that's it. You just throw it back in there. All you need to do is get a radio kit for the wire, just a wiring harness, I should say. I use usually beanies and tape. There's other ways to do it. I never had an issue before. Many people will say, well, that's not pro and that's not this and that. Well, you know what? I don't have shrink wrap. I do have a soldering iron, but when I installed this, I was in a hurry. I didn't want to solder it, so I just slapped it in there with some beanies and some tape. You'll notice that's the antenna adapter kit for the radio, and it'll plug in right in the back. Let me see here. There you go, perfect. Okay, I have the wiring harness adapter for the Nissan Nv200. Plugs in just fine. From there, you just match the colors. If you've never done it before, just match the colors. The antenna wires go together. The remote, just beanie the end of it. Do not tie it up with the antenna wire power stuff, because it does interfere with your radio antenna for some odd reason. And this actually says DTV1, so I don't know, maybe when I unplug this, I might just put in the antenna that came with the ATSC digital kit, digital receiver box. I'm gonna plug that antenna in here and see if it gives me channels, because I would love to use the option of the radio that says TV on it without needing a tuner box. And if that's the case, then I'm all done and I just have a tuner box to spare. If that's not the case, then I gotta put that tuner box into the auxiliary. So you notice there's multiple inputs and outputs. There's a USB here. You can I believe that's for the dongle. If you ever wanted to get one of those USB dongles that you could put a what's it called, a SIM card in, there's a couple of them on eBay that actually work. Just find out the bandwidth of your service provider and make sure that it matches the dongle you end up getting. I've never done it yet, but I will one day. So all you have to do is look for an auxiliary input in one of these. DVR video in would be probably one. So it says DVR video in. That's probably what I'll use. I don't see any other ones. Oh, here it is. That's the one I want to use here. It's auxiliary video in, because there's an option for auxiliary inside the radio. When you click on it, then you can have your channels. So we'll see what happens when I put this antenna in.